Hello there YouTube, and thanks very much for joining me on Dean the Vaping Biker. And today we're going to do a quick vlog, and as always I'm going to try really hard to make it a quick one, mainly because I haven't got a whole hell of a lot to tell you, to be honest with you. It's not like we're inundated with stuff, so hopefully we can keep this pretty sharp. I know I said it last week, and we went on from my expected half hour to an entire hour. I'm sorry, but I'm really hoping this is going to be a nice and quick one, because I know for a fact next week's is going to be huge, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Now, I'm completely unprepared, no notes, no bugger all, so let's just freestyle it, shall we? I'm getting my YouTube together here so I can have a little look and see what I've done this week. Not that I've done a crap load, but I've done 3 product reviews, which has been good. I've been happy with that, and I do want to address a couple of them. But let's have a little look-see about these things. Oh, hang on. Let me turn my phone off first. Let me turn my phone sound off first. Right. So, what have we got? What have we got? We did the Freakshow V2, which I am still thoroughly impressed with. I think it's an absolute beast. Is that going to focus? Is it bugger? You know what it looks like anyway, don't you? It's not going to focus, is it? Why is my camera not focusing? How rude. Anyway. Freakshow V2 there, trust me. Oh, I should probably address why I'm wearing a hat. It's because just, you know, it's one of those days. And Alan, haircut on Wednesday, my friend. So, you know. Right, so anyway, yeah, the Freakshow V2, love it. Really like it. It's going really well. Really enjoy using it. It's the bomb. So how hip am I? So yeah, I've really been having a great time with it. I still maintain that it's in my opinion the best atomizer that Wotofo have come up with this year, and yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. I really am, which is bonkers really. But I have arranged to sort out a conversion from Matter M Vapes, so he's going to convert one of mine to a bottom feeder, which I'm very happy about, because I think as a squonker I think it's going to be absolutely superb. Hopefully I'm going to have some funky news for you when it comes to squonkers as well very soon. And I apologise if you see the spot on my lip. It's just what's going on there? I've got a beard and everything and I'm getting spots. Anyway, so yeah, that freak show, really enjoyed doing it. Thank you so much for the love on the intro I did on there. It was, as you know, I kind of try and sort of learn a little bit more as I can when it comes to the editing software and all that sort of good stuff. And by doing that, I'm just going to use this box here as a coaster for my cuppa, because I've just realised it's super hot on wood. That's not good. Yeah, so it gives me the opportunity to do that and just try out a few little bits and pieces. Still a fair old way from being Steven Spielberg, but it's all techniques and stuff and learning and good shit like that. So I do enjoy all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I had fun with it, and glad to know that a couple of people were a little bit freaked out by it, which made me happy. So that's what I was shooting for. Then after that we had the triads. We had, I've put them both away again now. We had the triad RDA. Now, something to address on that one. I pointed out about the melted peak that had gone on inside of there, and I didn't make a huge thing of it, for 2 reasons. One, it could have been user error. You know, I thought I had my coils far enough away to not cause any issue, but that may have been a thing. I don't know. 2 is because it's still fully functional. It's just a little bit blistered on the edge there. So, and it didn't get any worse, or it didn't get any better, or nothing changed throughout the entire time that I was putting a bunch of coils in there and testing the crap out of it. There was not really any change. I didn't even identify when it happened. So, yeah, I mean, it was a funny one, because if I could have been confident that it was the fault of the RDA, I would have not been happy at all. But I couldn't be confident with that, and so I'm quite happy to admit that that is something that I've experienced. However, it's not something to say whether, you know, it's the RDA at fault, and hopefully that kind of came across, because I didn't want to slam it for something that, you know, it didn't deserve. Vertical coils kind of did that already. But yeah, so that was a thing. But as it is, I mean, there's a couple of comments from people saying that they really enjoy theirs, and fair play, and that's brilliant. And that's exactly why you should always watch more than one review before going out and parting with your hard-earned cash, because, you know, it's yeah. It's, you know, just because I like to vape a certain way and I like certain things, I know some of you out there kind of have bought sort of certain things because I've reviewed them and say that I like them, and you're happy with that, and that's brilliant. And I think you kind of do get to grips with a reviewer's vaping style, and if they say something's good and you like a lot of their other stuff, then usually you're in. But it's still always worth doing, or checking is always worth doing, should I say. Let me have a little vape, because we haven't vaped yet. I do look like a bit of a tramp today with the hat and the beard and the t-shirt and hoodie, and I should be looking smart today, but I can't. Right, then we went on to the Triad Genesis tank, and I maintain the fact that I think it was nearly a really good tank. I think it was nearly something pretty cool. I think it looks great. But in my opinion, having a single tail from having a vertical coil, just it's not brilliant, to be honest with you. And I think that's its biggest letdown. Otherwise, I think it could be a really good tank. If, you know, even with that, with the coiling the way it is, with the 3 coils, even having the adapter for a normal 510, that could help it quite a lot as well, because, you know, you would be focusing a little bit more on the flavour rather than, you know, anything else going on, and you could run it in the single coil option. So that, I think, you know, could work a lot better. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they do a V2 on either of those, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they may think about things in as much as giving you a spare deck as well. That would be really cool, in my opinion. But the Asmodus mod is going to be coming up next. I really do like it. I think it's great. I've not really had any issues with it. The touchscreen, I think, is absolutely superb. You know, it says you got to pull it down. If you don't do it too quickly, and you just kind of pull it down, and then away you go, you can change things in super darts. If you go, if I get a bowl, then it doesn't do it. Do you know what I mean? So just posh, you're in. Ta-da! So no problems with it whatsoever. I still think the battery life is really good on it. I like the delivery of the power. I did try it in, well, obviously I've tried it in temp mode as well, and it does give you a little bit of a weaker vape, but it does work so far. So this is probably going to be getting reviewed next week now. Oh, I don't know. Tail end of this week? No, probably not. Start of next week, I imagine. But obviously there's more to sort of go into with this than there is an RDA. So even though I got them all at the same time, I was able to get the RDA and the tank out a little bit sooner. Anyway, cheers, dear. But yeah, and the size of it is great. I think the size is absolutely superb. So yeah, really loving it. I've got the Twisted 24 on here at the moment as well. I originally bought it purely to go on top of the Rogue, and that's what I'm going to be sporting, or one of the things I'm going to be sporting this weekend, I dare say. But I think, is it too late to do a review on this? Because I mean, I bought this because I wanted it, but I don't know. I bought it from, I think it was Evolution Vaping. Is it too late to do a review on it? I think it's a good atomizer. I think I'm probably going to do a review on it, just because I think it's a really good, funky little atomizer. The only thing in my mind that lets this RDA down in any way, shape or form is exactly the same as the first Twisted Messes that came out, with regards to, it's very easy to kind of undo the top cap, which then leaves the central sleeve, which is your AFC, to easily spin. So you do have to make sure that that is kind of tight the whole time. Otherwise, I think it's absolutely a little cracker. Let me just pop some juice on here. I've got something to tell you about juice in a bit as well. Ooh, very exciting. Although it's not my own juice. Well, it kind of is, but it's not. I'll explain more in a minute. This is going to be just another one of those really random me waffling about bollocks. I know it. I'm 10 minutes in and I know it's going to happen. 66.6 watts, as always. Loving it. Right, so yeah, so that was everything that I have covered. The Triad Genesis tank, the Triad RDA, and the Freakshow V2. Definitely my favourite of the three has been the Freakshow V2, and for the price, I really don't think you can beat it. Under 30 quid for a really good quality kick-ass dripper, I think is tip-top in my opinion. So yeah, so that's what I've recorded, which has been good, although the last two were a little bit bunched up together a couple of days ago. But nice to see some rather pleasant view numbers on that. Thank you very much, everyone that's watched them. Now then, what else? What's come in? Let me tell you what's come in. Oh, first off, I haven't got round to doing this Balrog yet. The Balrog EX, rather than just the original Balrog. It's just pig ugly, it really is. But I need to get this done. I'm probably going to do that this week, hopefully. And it works. Well, it seems to work. It's not yet. I'll wait for the review, but that one is going to be coming up very, very shortly. That's better. I have kept saying that I'm going to be doing the Tesla with the little Tesla 40 watt. Annoyingly, with those, I did ask for extra coils to be sent on so I could really test out the shadow tank, and I've been waiting for those to come and they never arrived. So the shadow tank's not gonna. That's not happening. That comes with it, but the mod itself, China tends to use a few kind of senders. So when you look on DHL tracking and all that sort of stuff, then they'll come from, you know, place A. And so you get a message and say, oh, something's coming from DHL, collected from place A. And you go, oh, mint, lovely, that'll be from Tesla. And so I've been waiting for something, and it turned up today, and it wasn't from Tesla at all. So that was another week that's gone past that didn't need to happen. So I apologise to Tesla for that. But I still maintain that the Tesla 3 is a brilliant backup mod, because the battery power in it is tip top. You've got 5,000 milliamp hour battery in there, which does just keep you going if you need it in an emergency. And so definitely something to carry around, especially when you've got things like vape events and all that sort of stuff to go to. So yeah, really good. And I do like the little 40 watt mod as well. I think that's a nice looking little piece of kit, and it's a really dinky little size, and having that variable wattage is always lovely as well. Now, before I tell you what's come in this week, it's 13 minutes on the camera, and as you know, if you don't know, because my G7X Mark II tends to time out after about 15-16 minutes, I think it's because I'm recording everything in top whack, so, you know, full mashings, everything, and I think that's why it kind of overheats and goes, nah, 15 minutes, that'll do you. But then you can stop it and turn it back on again. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. Let's stop it and turn it back on again. Way! Have some of those apples. Now then. Oh, I didn't press my little gadget at the top there. I have to press a little thing just to make sure it doesn't change the aperture. Or is it the aperture? I don't know. It gets darker and lighter and stuff. Now then. The other stuff that's come in. Or the stuff that I thought was Tesla. Which isn't. Should I tell you that first? No, quick one. Let me tell you a quick update on the last vlog. Told you this is going to be random. Told you, warned you. It's your own fault for watching. Last week I tried the Altea tank from JWell, and I put it on. I filled it up and tried it for the first time, sort of live during the vlog. I guess live is the wrong kind of terminology because it's recorded, but you know what I'm saying. And I'm pleased to say it's working really well still. For a sub-ohm tank, it's just working brilliantly. I've asked for more coils for these as well, where they've said, yes, absolutely, but still no sign of that yet. And on top of that, I am still using the SKAR, SKAR from Lostvape, which I still think is a rather nice looking little setup there. I think that's a nice looking mod. 26650, but you can have a 18650 in there if you want. DNA 75 kicking over. Obviously, you do have the issue with the DNA 75 with regards to voltage. Is it maximum 6 volts? I think, something like that. But you know, you got 75 watts to play with, and you can do all sorts of good times with that. But I've really been enjoying both the mod and the tank, to be honest with you. I did say that I was going to keep using. I've left it downstairs. Grimm Green signature line. Oh, what one was it? Vlog Day, I think it is. I've got the other two here. So whatever one it isn't or isn't here. No, I've got Vlog Day here and I've got Bro Trip here. So I've got the other one that I've kept putting in this tank, and I'm only using it in this tank, so I haven't got a great deal of it. And yeah, it's working out really, really well. So I still think it's super cloudy. You're supposed to, I've looked into it a little bit more, and you're supposed to be able to put quite a bit of wattage through here, although with the very few coil options that I've got, I haven't pushed it too hard as yet. But I mean, that's at 55.5 watts, which is pretty damn reasonable, really, for a sub tank. And it puts out, you know, they're pretty dense clouds, and I like them. I like it a lot. So good setup going on there. Thanks to Vapegeek in the UK for sending the SKAR on, and to JWell for the tank. So yes, and I'm convinced myself that the tank is going to get its own review now as well. It's just started pouring down with rain outside, and random people are screaming outside my window, so that's nice. Right. What else is kicking on? So the new stuff now. I think I've just got this shit everywhere, all over my desk. So we've got from Jac Vapour. Jac Vapour, who did the Series B tilt, which is somewhere. I reviewed ages ago now, and they've come up with this, which is they're calling it a starter kit. And also, it's kind of a bridge kit, and as well as much as they give you a, I think the coil, I can't even remember now, I think it's about a 1 ohm coil or something that's in there at the moment, but they do also give you a sub-ohm coil as well. It's only a 900 mAh battery though, so obviously if you tried subbing it for too long, then it wouldn't be too clever. But yeah, the idea is for people to be able to have a starter kit and then kind of get used to direct lung inhales if they want to, and have a little bit of that sub experience. But I don't really get it, to be honest with you. Much like kind of the older style stuff anyway, it's not top fill. You do have to unscrew it and fill it up from underneath. And it works just like a, you know, any kind of ego-y thing, really. It does do the job rather well, I've got to say that. And the flavour is quite nice as well. I've really restricted that airflow, which is good. So yeah, I'm kind of getting into a bit of mouth lunging recently for testing a few bits and bobs. The flavour on it, the coils in it, are actually seem to be pretty damn sweet. Although I am using, what am I using? I'm using Van Dyke Vapes. Oh, I've left that downstairs as well. I'm using Van Dyke Vapes Buttered Nips in here at the moment, which is a 50-50 kind of flavour. This is bringing out more of a kind of the minty aspect of the juice, but it's very, very nice. Not going to be cloud chasing with it, but there is more testing to be done, as always, and we will see what the sort of sub-ohm coils are like in here, but I don't really get why, but you never know. You never know. That might turn out to be rather splendid. Now, we've got two other things. We do have, now this is what I'm using for a coaster. This is the this is a Cree Z from www.kree, KHREE dot something or other, .com, I imagine. .com, yeah. Now this is it's a funny thing. It's super thin, but it's not small. It's not small. What can I relate it to? What can I relate it to? It's a tad, it's a little bit wider than the Therium, which is a JWell 18650, but obviously it is quite a lot sort of thinner in that respect. Now with this bad boy, you've got a magnetic cap going on at the top there, and you pull out your juice pod to fill up. You can only fill it with juice. You can't fuck about with the coils and all that sort of malarkey, which is a bit of a shame because I think I have burned out this coil already. But what I don't get about this is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Right, above the drip tip there, can you see the two holes? It makes the drip tip make it look like a nose, doesn't it? But those two holes just above the drip tip, they are they're air holes. So this is a lung hitting piece of kit. It's way too loose to be a mouth to lunger, and thus far I need to look into it more, but I don't think you can adjust that airflow in any way, shape or form. So it's kind of, I don't really, if this was a mouth to lung, I would get it. I kind of go, okay, well, it's this kind of shape. It's quite light, so you can pop it in an inside pocket or your shirt pocket or something without any kind of major grief. It holds a fair amount of juice. So yeah, I'd get it in that respect. However, being a sort of a strong lung hit thingy, I don't really understand it, to be honest with you. You do get a spare coil or a spare tanky thing, I think. Let me just check. In the package, I mean, it's presented lovely. It's you know, you get it in a nice little box, and it's got all sorts of stuff and things and gear in here and all sorts of malarkey. But yeah, you do get another kind of pod, I suppose you'd call it. Although that looks in really crappy condition. If I didn't know better, I'd say that the one that you've got. Let's see if you can see this. I've not taken this out of here before. No, is that going to focus? Can you see that sort of plastic glass on there? It's all scratched and fucked, and that looks really second-hand, doesn't it? Anyway, yeah, how odd. So I will carry on giving this a blast, but at the moment I don't see its purpose in the market. I don't really get why it's a thing. It's made in Korea, I believe, and I couldn't remember agreeing to review it, to be honest with you. But they're sneaky now. I've had a couple of things recently where a couple of companies have managed to get my address from somewhere else and have just randomly sent stuff and went, oh, well, we thought you'd said yes. No. But no, so otherwise, I mean, that's kind of is a big old pair of, look at the size of the magnets on that bastard. Yeah. Flavour is okay from it. It's not mind-blowing. I've got Grumpy Custard in here because I thought that would be a big test for it. And it's not. Oh, I just realised I'm really on the train again today, aren't I? Twat. So yeah, I know what Grumpy should taste like, and it kind of does, but it's very, very weak. And I think all that extra air makes it that way, you know, because there's just so much air going through it. It's going to dilute the flavour. It is a restricted airflow, but you couldn't really mouth to lung it, I don't think. It's not really a mouth to lung kind of thing. So anyway, that's getting a bit of a workover as well. I have got a pink one as well, which I may. Should I get this? Let me know if I should get the wife to try it out. We'll see. Twat. I've also got one of these. This is the MyJet from Wismec, which is one of these things that's a little bit like a JWell. It's a little bit like all manner of things. Now with this one, you kind of pull this section out, and that is your juice pod. You then kind of pry off this little end, which has a coil in it. It does actually have you can see it's a spaced coil of some kind in there. I think it's Canthal. And then you fill it up, and away you go. You can't replace the coil, but you can replace the wick. Excuse me, but obviously you wouldn't be able to dry burn it, so I don't really get how that works. Trying to make the longer to not be an but failed. There's a lot of condensation going up the chimney in the middle of that. But in here at the moment, I am trying something a little bit different. I've got I got some of this at the last event, I think, which is Madchester series Perry Boys. I think that's the one that I put in here anyway, which is kind of a coffee and hazelnut sort of affair, because I thought that might be nice to have with your coffee. So I'm trying it now. Cheers, dear. Now, I think this is the best mouth to lung resistance I've had on anything for quite some time. I think that works really, really, really well. And I do really like the draw for that mouth to lung kind of vibe, in as much as you're moving from, if you're moving from smoking to something like this, I think that's it's quite a memorable draw, if that makes sense. What I'm not overly fussed about is the shape at the end, because you've got the because you've got this kind of perspex bit here and a bit of plastic going on there. You can see that the plastic overhangs the thing, so you kind of, your lips kind of go over that a little bit, which feels a bit weird in the old mouth. There's no button on it. It just works on one of the valve things. Now, anyone that's been vaping maybe longer than 2 years might remember, I think it was Totally Wicked had a few couple of products that were kind of activated by sucking it, and they had one of these big old, looked like a big sheeter thing with kind of like a curled rope or something going around it, and that was something that you just sucked on. And it kind of, it does work. It does work. Obviously not a cloud machine, but by putting 6 milligram juice in here, I thought I'd give it a little bit more of a tester. I'm not a 6 milligram person. I'm really not. I'm 3 milligram all the way. I did make some juice a little while ago with no nicotine in it at all, and just didn't like that either. So I think I'm going to be a 3 milligram forever. But no, so far so good. Now the packaging with this, it gives you one of these little things. So you get a spare coil at the bottom here, and you get another tank. So you could, in essence, run 2 of them at the same time with a different flavour in each, and then just pop it in depending on whatever you fancy. But I'm trying to save that one in case I fuck this one, because when that bottom piece goes into, when the coil section, let me see if I can show you. Rambling 14 minutes in this little bit since I turned off the camera. Go on, open your bugger. Right, so are we going to focus? Maybe, maybe not. That is, your coil is in there. You can see the cotton kind of poking out the sides there. Now that is that section kind of pushes into this section right here. Now that's where you fill up, and you fill up much like you do with a lot of tanks. You don't go past the sort of chimney that's on the inside, so you fill this up and then you put that in there. Now before I put any juice in it, I put that in there and thought, right, there we go, that's how that works. So now how do you get it out? So yeah, I grilled it like a bastard, and the coil went and it all went a bit wrong. So I'm not entirely sure what the design purpose on that one is, but there we go. But no, I don't know the costs of them yet. I've not looked at them yet, so don't know if they're ridiculously expensive or not. But as a device, this is the only one of these kind of affairs that I've had, and I've got to say I'm quite impressed with it. I really, really am. It works. Who knew? So there we go. So those two things are kind of, I guess this is, like I said, I don't know where this fits in the market. Is it a starter device because it's an open lung hit? I don't know, but I don't know. But with this one, I mean, they're both going to get tested to fuck, but this is the favourite of those two at the moment. So there we go. In fact, this is the favourite of all 3 of the beginner starter kits that I've had in so far. Now then, time to turn the camera off and put it back on again. Oh, hold you on. There we go. We are on. The thing's done. Pow. Right. Cheers. That must mean we're coming up to half an hour, and I am trying to keep this really sharp still. It's good to keep hold of some old juices, by the way. I've had some old juices that I forgot I had, to be honest with you, and I've been rocking some of the black Origins, which I got from Expo, I think, last year. No, not last year. Earlier on in this year. Expo? Yeah, I think it was Expo. So yeah, I've forgotten how nice that is, really. And I've been rocking some Vapegeek Killer Custard, which my favourite Vapegeek is still Royalty 2, but I've been either lazy or poor and haven't managed to buy any more of that yet, but I'm working on it. But the Perry Boys stuff I think is really good still, so that's really cool. So what else? Now, I have been having a little play. Those of you that have been watching for a while will know that Eliquid Flavour Concentrates in the UK sent me some concentrates which I mixed up, and I had they also sent me some nick and this, that and the other, and for some reason the nick made it really harsh on the back of my throat. I didn't enjoy it at all, and I pointed out last week or the week before that because of that they have sent me some of the Flavour Art kind of pre-mix. This is 18 milligram nick in a 50-50 mix, just so you can get your nicotine in your mix without having to fanny about too much. And this week I've had, well, so far reasonable success, I think, which is good. I did buy myself some scales. I felt like a drug dealer doing it, but I bought myself a little pair of scales, cheap as you like. These are about £8 on Amazon and work really well. And I've been using, I mixed up, what did I mix up? With some help from Jamie from Vapers Worldwide. Go and check those guys out. I asked about a few kind of concentrate amounts and all that sort of stuff, and he suggested, out of what I had, doing a certain mix with pear, apple, and I had some Vienna cream and things. And so I made some and I called it Fapple. Don't know why I called it Fapple, because with Vienna I have no idea, but it's called Fapple. And that's not too bad. A little bit angry, I only mixed them yesterday, so it's a little bit funky. And I also made a Chocky Orange as well, which needs way more chocolate than I put in there. But so far we've had success. I've got the Fapple in here at the moment, actually. Made it as max VG, or as max as it could be with regards to the 50-50 nick, and obviously all the flavouring as well. And it's not bad, you know. I think we could have a mixing video very shortly. Mr. Scott Bonner, I Get You 69, did a mixing video this week as well, which is very good, so go and check him out. I do want to try one of his recipes at some point. I think he's got a bunch on his website as well. I do really want to give that a little blast, but no, if you've not checked it out, go and have a look. I Get You 69 on the YouTubes, and everyone's a winner. So that's the juice. That's the stuff that's come in. Realised yesterday that I still haven't done a review on this, the Sifu B tab, and I really need to, so this may come out this week as well, by the way, .com. Now then, is there, on my Facebook page, I managed to, I'm not really a computer person, but I managed to put a little shop button and a merch store thingy. So if you do want any of the Vaping Biker t-shirts or mugs or bags or any of that old rubbish, then go and crack on over to that. Or you can go to vapingbiker.co.uk and click on Vaping Biker merch. But yeah, I've done that. I needed to order some more shirts before what's coming up this weekend. Completely forgot. Huge error on my part. Anyway, this weekend, Vapor Expo, the return. Very excited about this. It's pigging huge. It's ridiculous. It's gonna be massive. And I am thinking it's gonna be one of the, well, I don't know if it is gonna be the biggest of the year, but hang on, let me have a little look. Vaporexpo.co.uk. Couple of stats for you, for those that give a shit. Come on computer, there we go. Right, so the 2016, so the Vapor Expo that happened earlier this year was 150,000 square feet. The return, the one coming up this weekend, is 165,000. They've made it bigger. I believe they've got more exhibitors than last time. They've got a capacity of 18,000 people as opposed to the 15,000 that was there at the last event, and they've also got kind of an even better way. They were brilliant at the last event about getting people in. They didn't have to queue up for hours and all that sort of guff. It was just sort of queue once they opened the door. I think they got something like 2,000 people in about 5 minutes or something. I can't remember the numbers, but it was immense. And now they're doing something extra. So if you're one of the people that turn up super early, rather than having to wait outside, they've got another room which is going to be for people to hang out or wait and queue in and all that sort of stuff. But I think there's going to be entertainment going on in there, and you'll be able to vape in it, which I think is brilliant. Really well thought out, that one. I'm really looking forward to this. I'll be there on all 3 days, on the Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And it's going to be awesome. There's loads of exhibitors. Obviously, as with all these things, there's a bucket load of juice exhibitors, but there is also a good amount of hardware jobs in there as well, which I think is really cool. I'm just kind of looking through the website now and taking my mind off things. But the floor plan is immense. And also, I think they learned something from the Expo earlier in the year, where there seemed to be kind of there weren't kind of corridors, if you like, and some of the exhibitors were kind of plonked at random angles in the middle of things and stuff and shit and things. This one does look as though it's a little bit more organized in how it's set out, so it should be a lot easier to navigate. So you can kind of when I go at these things, I like kind of starting here and going, right, I'm going to go there and then down there and then up there and down there and do all that sort of malarkey, and that way you kind of make sure that you don't miss anything. It was really difficult to do that, the one earlier in the year, but this one looks as though you're going to be able to do that quite nicely. Unfortunately, it does look as though their chill out area is once again next to the stage, which just seems weird to me. That's my only kind of negative thing on the whole idea of it. But otherwise, I think it's going to be really cool. I'm staying on site on the NEC site, so haven't got far to stumble in the mornings with a tad of a hangover, which is going to be good. Obviously, I'm going to do my level best to do a really good vlog from it. I'm learning on my vlogs from events each time. I had a lot of love from the Vape Fest one, and I think I've learned a few bits and bobs from that. So hopefully I'm going to do a really strong vlog from it. I'm aiming, I'm going to be getting back late Sunday night, and so I'm hoping to be able to get the vlog together on the Monday and get it out Monday night. Fingers crossed anyway. So that is, I think that's about it, guys. I think it really is. What's that? It's under 40 minutes. It's under 40 minutes. Now, I am leaving to go to the event on Thursday of this week. Today's Monday? Is today Monday? Yes, today's Monday. So I'm leaving on Thursday. So you've got today to do a video and then Tuesday and Wednesday to do a video. Not sure if I'm going to be able to get one out on Thursday morning or not, because it does take just quite a bit of time to get everything together, to be honest with you. And so I'm going to try and get, well, I will get at least 2 review videos out this week, but unfortunately, that may be it. Now, if you do, I do try and respond to comments and stuff as much as I can, both on YouTube and on Facebook and everything else. If you comment or a message or an email or something like that, and I don't get back to you, I do apologise. I'm not being an asshole. I am probably drunk in a corner somewhere. So, ta-da! Now then, let's crack on to what we've been watching. Let's have a little look at what we've been watching recently. Today, Mr. Todd did put his video out again of the World Mental Health Day, which is a spectacular video, and I will put a link down below because I think it's definitely worth a watch, and certainly something that is relevant to a lot of people's lives. So whether you are someone that deals with any mental health issues or depression or anxiety or whatever else, I would have a look at it, and I'd also look at sharing it on your Facebook wall or something like that, because you know, it's very difficult to identify people that can have these challenges, and because, you know, one of the key things with a lot of mental health issues is that person hides that a lot. Does that make sense? And so, you know, if you can help in any way, shape or form, then please do, you know, give them another video to watch that offers a little bit of advice or another option at the very least. So I'm going to put the link for that down below. Now, what else have we got? We've been watching Casey, obviously, who had Nike took Casey Neistat. I've talked about him before. He's huge. Nike people took over some auto lacing boots, so they were made the same, or to look the same as Michael J. Fox wore in Back to the Future 2, which is just ridiculous. It's very cool, and they actually work. They self-lace and shit. Oh, I thought that was really good. What else is going on? Ruby Roo has looked at the M17 Mini, for those of you that like the big old chunky M17 DNA 200. It doesn't look great to me, and they want an awful lot of money for it, but there we go. Inky Vapor's back. Inky Vapor's come up with, he's been a bit unwell recently, so has done his Limitless RDTA. Definitely worth a look. What else is going on? What else have I watched? Casey Neistat lost a DJI Mavic drone. Unbelievable, it really is. I don't think there's really anything else of any kind of... What else? Bad Dad? Colin Furze. Colin Furze cutting bread with a bandsaw, as you do. Postmodern jukebox, some of that action going on. Just a whole bunch of bits and bobs, to be honest with you. Nothing kind of totally stand out and amazeballs. Well, I mean, they're all amazeballs, obviously, but but you know what I mean. Like, you know. But no, that's about it. And I've just been the stuff that my history. If I look at my history on YouTube, it's shocking. It really is. Oh, there's one I watched today that was really cool. There's a group called the Lounge Kittens, and it's these three girls that kind of do metal songs, but in a kind of doo-wop kind of kind of style, and it's really cool. And they've got a video called "The Day We Opened for Limp Bizkit," and it's brilliant because they did a bit of a set, and oh, what's his face was in the audience, and then got them out to play a big at Sonisphere 2014, which is amazing, but a really cool video. What else is going on? Is there see, everything else is just dull. It's camera stuff, or it's... I did watch quite a few videos on people flipping bottles. So getting bottles like that and then just go like that and making it sit upright again, which, you know, I might have to include it in a video just because. I think this is going to be too thin. Moving on. Is there anything else? No, I'm just going to be boring you now. I think it's a whole thing. There is nothing. There's nothing there to. So yes, just boring the piss out of you now. Apologies for the hat. Haircut on Wednesday. Looking sexy. Gonna be at Expo. Got the starter gear. If you're interested for what I'm going to take to Expo, I have no idea. Well, I do have an idea. I will be taking the Rogue with the Twisted Messes 24 atop of it. I will be taking the SKAR, possibly this tank as well if the coil holds out nicely. I will be taking the Asmodus Minikin V2 because of battery life. And I'm not entirely sure what else I'm going to take. I think I'm going to take a little squonker, which hopefully I'm going to be able to show you very, very soon. And I might take my little box from M-Vapes as well, because I think it just looks sweet af. Sweet af, I tell you. And that's it, I think. Pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it is. Everyone's a winner. And it's going to be well under an hour. Get that up, yeah. Clouds for days. I can't stop looking at my screen when I blow a cloud, and I don't know what. Where do you look when you blow a cloud? It's just kind of. It's weird, isn't it? You don't... It's very odd. Anyway, that is it. That really is it, I think. I'm really pretty sure that's it. Pretty damn sure. Oh, no. I guarantee I'm going to forget something. I really am. Right. I can hear you saying, Dean, get off. Very kind of the offer. Not before dinner. Right, that's it. I'm off. See you later. Thank you very much for joining me. I've been Dean the Vaping Biker. This has been a vlog under an hour. Get it up yet. Have it very large.